We all strive for perfection, some more than others. Athletes push their bodies, scholars push their minds, but for some people it takes something more. For aspiring ballet star Nina Sayer in Darren Aronofsky's film Black Swan, it is all about perfection, but it was no longer pushing her body or mind. When we meet Nina in the beginning of the film, we learn quickly that she is a skilled dancer. More than that, a standout performer. She knows exactly what to do at what time and has no issue executing it all with the utmost grace and finesse. She has worked her whole life to reach this point. An opportunity at the role of the Swan Queen, the starring role in a Lincoln Center performance of Swan Lake, one of the most prestigious stages in the world. She gets the role by showing her ability as the White Swan, a meticulous, calculated, prim and proper dancing role. Unfortunately for Nina, the role of the Swan Queen requires that she could dance as the Black Swan as well. A fluid, careless, yet graceful role, danced with passion, a swan free of inhibitions. In and of itself, it is an absolute opposition of characteristics, a duality of man, yin and yang. Nina can't just be the White Swan anymore. Reaching perfection is not about pushing her body or mind. It is about losing herself, breaking free of her lovable, forgiving, modest conscience, and transcending into a different Nina, the Black Swan. With visible hallucinations, the use of sound, and change in her appearance throughout the film, Aronofsky shows us that Nina will do anything to the point of insanity to lose herself and achieve perfection, no matter the cost. Nina starts the film in her bedroom clothed in all-white frilly clothing, looking like the innocent girl that she is at that point in the film. After the rehearsal, she is wearing a black sweater, and it only escalates from there, as by the end of the film, the majority of the clothing she wears and dances in are black. We see the presence of the dark clothing more and more as Lily has a greater presence in Nina's life. Lily, who wears all black all throughout the film, is in many ways the embodiment of the Black Swan and pulls Nina into that way of life with her. The former star of the ballet company, Beth McIntyre, who was set to be the Swan Queen and then replaced by Nina, can usually only be seen wearing dark clothing. In many ways, this shows what striving for perfection has done to Beth and will do to Nina as well, as it is also a symbol for the calling of her death.
Nothing.
At the beginning of the film, Nina is completely coherent. On her mind, the thought of getting the role of the White Swan. The pressure of perfection starts from the get-go. Her dream is invaded by the thought of her dancing on the Lincoln Center stage as the Swan Queen. After conversation about the role, the hallucinations begin on the subway. After her standout tryout performance, where she begins to start her journey into becoming the Black Swan, the hallucinations continue. After getting the role and beginning to lose herself in the role, the hallucinations intensify. Along with the hallucinations, the sounds of the swan become far more apparent as she transitions into the Black Swan. The flapping of wings and bird noises are heard more and more as she dances in Swan Lake. They ramp up when she begins to near the end of dancing the White Swan. Nina and the male lead perform a lift into the air, and when she starts to hear laughs, presumably coming from Lily, she panics and is dropped onto the floor. Then comes the moment that she dreads, dancing the Black Swan. As she moves on the floor and performs turn after turn, the sound of feathers flapping and distorted breathing becomes more apparent as she finishes her dance. In the last moments of her dance of Black Swan, we see and hear her growing thick black feathers from her arms and back. They flap wildly with intense sound as she strikes her final pose in front of the crowd. The culmination of it all comes together in the end of the film in the first performance as the Swan Queen. After dancing her first dance as the White Swan, Nina faces herself in the form of Lily and stabs Lily in the stomach.
It's my turn.
She then takes full form and dances flawlessly in all black as the true Black Swan, wings and all. The hallucinations and sounds of the swan intensify greatly, and she continues to dance as a perfect Swan Queen. The cost of perfection becomes ever present, as at the end of the film, as she dances her final dance of the performance, blood begins to emerge from her stomach, from the same spot she had stabbed Lily. As the white lights rush to blur Nina's vision, she says,
It was perfect.